All right, everyone, welcome back into another NFL DFS video. Going to be touching on the top showdown plays here for the Sunday Night Football game. Now, as always, doing a quick preview of the Sunday Night Football game between the Jets and the Chiefs using the ODDSJAM Sportsbook view. If you guys want to access to this, be clicking the link in the description below. Use the promo code 925 to get 25% off as well. Looking at this game, it is a 41.5 over and under and about an 8-point spread. You guys can see the sportsbook screen just lighting up right now. That's because games are active. I'm recording this during the kickoff of Sunday, the afternoon, or the start of the slate. So it updates live, which is awesome. But looking at this game specifically, not too much injury news that we really have to worry about. We know that Richie James is going to be out still, and that's really kind of the biggest takeaway that I have. So let's go ahead and get into the top plays. Now, thankfully, the London game was actually pretty easy to predict. That ended up being a really, really awesome slate and didn't get a lot of views, and maybe that's why. Because, it typically gets around 3,000 to 4,000 views. That video only got like 800 total views, and it ended up being a pretty easy slate. So hopefully you guys were able to take advantage of that. But looking at this one, I do find it interesting, kind of just the Chiefs players in general. We'll start with them. I want to start with Noah Gray's price tag because, man, like Tim Jones, Jonnu Smith, those were kind of the obvious value plays for the London game. And we get another pretty obvious value play in Noah Gray here. This feels like one that we just can't really pass up on. At $900, this is a clear pricing mistake. We look at the snap counts for them. Noah Gray has been playing in, on average 70% of the snaps, but I think with Kelsey back, it's going to be more 60% of the snaps. I just think we're going to see a lot of 2 tight end sets, a lot of 12 personnel, and they're going to continue to rotate their backs. They're going to continue to rotate their receivers. They kind of have found something in Noah Gray. He's looks sharp, and I just think that they like him. And just considering this price tag, it is just way too cheap of a price tag to not consider him, given how many snaps he's going to play, given the fact that he probably will get at least 2 targets and probably 1 design target as well. So that is a play that I want to start out with because it is just insane, and it allows us to really fit Patrick Mahomes into our builds. Yes, he's going against the Jets. We expect him to struggle a little bit, but at the same time, it's just an easy click, I would say. And same thing for Travis Kelce. We know he's going to be heavily involved in the passing game. The Jets do struggle guarding tight ends, so I think we want to be playing both those guys. They're kind of easy clicks when we factor in Noah Gray. And then from there, which receiver do we want to be targeting? We know MVS is most likely going to play the most snaps, and we know MVS is a big play receiver. Can he break a slate? He can. Do we want to depend on that? No. You're going to need some exposure to him in GPPs, but let's not go crazy with it. Sky Moore is definitely an interesting one as well. I don't really expect him to do much in this game, and I feel like he is a little bit priced up. Now, why is he priced up that high? Because he's getting a lot of snaps, and there is some consistency there. From there, the base question that we have is what to do with Rice and Kadarius Toney, because last week we saw Rice get about 50% of the snaps, which was really up from the previous game. But that, to me, was pretty much dependent on Toney not playing that much. He was coming into the game with a toe injury, played his least amount of snaps in that game, and now he was a full participant in practice, doesn't carry an injury destination heading into that game. And so I think we can expect maybe Toney to get around 30% of the snaps, which I think would be the same for Rice. Now, when Toney's on the field, he gets plays designed to him. Like he just does, around 6 touches. So do we need to consider him a little bit? Maybe. I will say thus far he has not looked healthy, which has been the story of his whole career. It's a bet on him looking better than he has thus far, looking healthier than he has thus far, because so far we have not seen that quick twitch that we saw from him that really made him a big, intriguing talent in the NFL. It looks like he has lost a step. So if that's true, then I don't think we need to be playing him. I probably would rather play Rice there. But really the Chiefs receiver that I probably would want to play the most would actually be Justin Watson, who continues to make big plays. He's actually their leading receiver in terms of yards, and he just always looks good. It's one of those strange things. Now, I do think it's worth calling out his snap counts are pretty low, but they have risen the past 2 weeks. And so if we can get him playing about 40% snaps, that's enough to get me intrigued for him as a play. And so if we're looking for a Chiefs receiver to play, I might just pay down for him. Harrison Buckner is a play that I like as well, because I do think that Chiefs defense is going to be enough to hinder some production to maybe stall out some drives. So I typically don't like to go on kickers, but I do think we want to go 4-2 at least, favoring the Chiefs. So let's talk about the running backs real quick. It's just a guessing game, trying to get lucky. Pacheco had a really good matchup against the Bears, and he was able to take advantage of it. From there, I don't think we can expect much from him. Jerick McKinnon, same matchup, was able to do well in it as well. The Jets are pretty good against the run, so I don't know if we really want to be targeting any of them. And I will say CH did look good, but we're not expecting much from him. All right, now we get into the Jets. So with the Jets, they need to start manufacturing some touches to Garrett Wilson. They started to do that in the second half, and the offense really started to move. And it's just tough to imagine them not putting him in motion, getting him some screen plays, getting him some short hitches, some slants. They just need to do that. And I kind of expect that to occur in this game. Now he does draw another tough matchup. That's been the biggest issue for Zach Wilson and really this whole offense is that, man, he played 3 of the toughest defenses like in a row. Like, what do you really expect from him? It's kind of unfortunate for them. Like, it was a tough part of the season. And guys, for what it's worth, try to trade for Garrett Wilson now in season-long leagues if you can, maybe after this week, because from this point on, he's going to go off, I think, at least relatively speaking, compared to where he is drafted and kind of the expectations right now. Dalvin Cook seems to be overpriced. He didn't play that many snaps. His production was very low as well. He feels like an easy fade, and a lot of people are probably going to go with Breece Hall in this game, and I would say that's probably correct, like if we're choosing between those two. My thought, or the interesting play that I think is going to be Michael Carter, just because he is more of a passing down back, and if they are going to be playing from behind, could be someone you're looking at. He played a decent amount of snaps last week, but he was also seen arguing with an assistant coach, so just how many snaps will he play? That's a big question there as well. Tyler Conklin, if you look at his over and under for receptions, it's set at 2.5, and we can see the past few games with Zach Wilson, 6 targets, 5 targets. He was actually someone last year as well with Zach Wilson, was pretty heavily targeted as well. He was like a top 10 tight end for a majority of the games with Zach Wilson. So I do think that is a sneaky way to get some value on the slate. And look at this, guys. We can pretty much make whichever build we want work. Let's talk about Zach Wilson. Yeah, I don't think we need to play him. A lot of people are probably going to be playing the Chiefs, and I would say that's going to be correct. It is the NFL. The Chiefs D, that is. It is the NFL. Strange stuff can happen. But I think for the most part, we kind of know who to be going in on. And I really don't think we need to be worrying about any other plays considering the value that we have out there. So who do we want to put in the captain spot? I'm going to go with Kelsey because I think we can make that work. We still have a lot left over. There we go. Do we need to go Buckner? Do we need to go Conklin? Probably not, but let's go pay up. Like, we can fit Pacheco in there. We can fit Zach Wilson in there. We could fit Chiefs D. Let's just go Mahomes because we can make it work, right? Like, who cares? We got the salary left over. 8.4. Go Pacheco. I don't mind that. Could you maybe not even play Tyler Conklin and go with Chiefs D? You could. Like, I don't mind that as well. There we go. 5K left over. Who do we end up on? Buckner. Like, we got some pretty good builds that we can. And that's going to be all. If you guys want to use the 9to5 lineup optimizer to make some GPP builds, by all means do that. It is available in the link in the description below, 9to5sports.com. It is just $10 a month. Gives you access to prop tools as well. Make sure to be checking out the ODDSJAM tools as well. Use promo code 925, the number spelled out, to get 25% off as well. All right, that's all I have for you guys. Let's have a good slate. And as always, let's keep cashing.